Hey everyone, this is episode 416 of the OotiniCast, recorded June 29th, 2021. Kitty's with me today. Looks like this is going to come up. Yep, looks good. This is going to come up. Yep, sounds fine too. I think we're good to go.
Let me pop chat out. Okay.
Alright. So Lone Wolf's already in there. Right, so this is the raw version of the show. We leave any flubs or whatever, they just happen. This is being live streamed out. This raw version will also go up as the YouTube version of the show. But then we will take the audio version, we'll polish it up a bit, edit it if need be, and then, well, as need be. It always needs a little editing. And then that goes out tomorrow as an audio podcast. So, yeah. They did seem to, Lone Wolf. At least I noticed I accidentally went over the cap, and it went to 11,000. So I think that is what has happened. I don't know why they only increased it by 1,000, but that does seem to be the case. Actually, I should add that to the show notes, because I didn't actually add that because I noticed it, but then I thought, was that because I got one of those login rewards where it's like you've reached the end of the blah, 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 and you get a bunch of tech points, and it happened to cap me out. But I thought that maybe they let it go another 1,000 just because you were capped at. But I don't think that's the case. I think they actually just increased the cap. So
well, you know what that means, Chill. This one goes to 11.
This one goes to 11. That's right. All right, I'll add that to the show notes. Let's see.
How you doing, Wolfie?
Yep. Oh, it actually does show in the show notes. Increase the cap of tech fragments to 11,000. Okay, so it's there. It is there. Maybe, let me actually highlight that, because the show notes, the game update, like the patch notes is what I mean, is the show notes are different. That's what for our show, but boop. I'll highlight that so that I mention it. Yeah, that was interesting. Right, that makes sense, because otherwise it's like you're kind of screwed. You're at 10,000, and then it's like you can't cap, and you're going to lose out on some trying to get to the 10,000. It's nice that they're doing that.
Right, especially with we'll talk about it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we're going to get the actual podcast going here in a moment. My Audacity does look good. I know yours is already going, Kitty. If you're ready, I'm actually ready. Are you good to go?
I'm ready to go, baby.
All right, then. I'm going to have a little water. It would have been nice to double it. Yeah, I agree, Deck. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't want to, if they're going to increase the cap anyway, I don't know. Apparently they wanted to keep it really close to, that 10,000 cost thing. So
I raise it 1,000 every.
So if I think that's probably is the answer. Is like, well, we don't want to make it so that like people lose out on 50 or 100. Or a couple hundred tech points when they if they disenchant to try to get up to their cap, and they don't want to lose out on it, but they don't want to make it so that you can get two at the same time, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it's all good.
They'll just arbitrarily raise it 1,000 every once in a while.
Yeah, where they're
like
just randomly
50. Just
roll
now
a
it's
die.
11,050.
Yeah. All right, hang on. We'll go on 5 here. Oh, actually, I didn't properly tweet this out. I did a little mini tweet like 10 minutes ago that said I was about to, but I didn't do the proper tweet. Yeah. We are live. Twitch.
Oh, God
TV/OotiniCast. And there we go. That's very simple, but that will be fine. All right. That just went out. And we'll go ahead and retweet it. All right, now we'll go in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that has heard a mysterious broadcast. This is episode 416, recorded on Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. I'm your host, Jill, and with me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hello, Jill.
Hey, and yeah, not too exciting about I know the quote today. This wasn't great, but I wanted to get a Rise of Skywalker one. I hadn't had one in a long time, and it's just really hard to get a good quote out of that one, unfortunately, for whatever reason. All right, well, thank you.
I give it an 11.
Yes, that's right. Something's going to 11 this week, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, it's just the two of us today, so let us know what you've been up to.
Well, as you are very well aware of, Chill, it was 117 degrees in our neighborhood.
Yeah, and it was 115 here.
It's hot.
Brutal.
11 7. Jeez, I got 11 on the brain now. 117 degrees is so hot. How hot is it? It makes 90 degrees feel like 65 degrees.
Yeah, it's right. It's like 93 today, and it's like it feels like I could almost put a jacket on after yesterday. It was crazy.
I know, right? We acclimated that fast that 90 degrees is like.
Yeah, we say that, but like I'm also like still like swollen from the heat. Like I'm all puffy and like waterlogged because I'm trying to hydrate and stay ahead of it. And I was like, my brain was getting all fuzzy and stuff from like weird sleep and from the heat and everything else. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. This is the Pacific Northwest, and we just, when we see 100 degrees, we see it one day and then it goes back down below that, and then, or maybe you see it 2 days if it's really nasty, and it's not 110, 115, 116, 117 degrees. It's just 100, 101, 102. So this was really brutal for this around here. So yeah, it was not fun.
Sucked. I have a AC in my room where I do all of the streaming and everything, and it was still in the 90s. Like I think it was 95 in my room, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's just so punishing.
Yeah.
And what was funny is that I usually don't put the AC in. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's.
You mean so you have like a wall unit?
No, I have like I throw it in the window. It's like a window guy.
Okay.
And so, but I don't like
kind
to
of
put
what
it
I meant, but yeah, sorry, I meant a window unit, but my bad.
Well, I was going to cut a hole and put it in. I'm glad I didn't because I upgraded. I just dropped some real cash on a real AC.
Oh, nice.
Because I am not going to be tortured like this ever again.
Is it like a central unit now, or what kind is it?
It's one of the portable ones.
Oh, it is portable. Okay.
Right.
But it's a nice one.
Yeah, it's 1400 BTUs.
Whoa.
Which is like twice what I have over there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I can't do it again. Today everybody is crabby, and my brain felt like mush, more mush than it normally does. But man,
it's brutal. And I mean, we have AC, but we didn't. I only put it in like 4 years ago. We didn't have it forever in this house, and every once in a while you'd get a hot streak, and it was just it just gets brutal. But even with the AC, the AC wasn't, even though it's a pretty solid forced air AC unit that uses the forced air heating vents and so on. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty good unit, but it just wasn't able to keep up with that sort of heat. It was just crazy. So yeah,
it's no fun. But what's really funny is that it took the Nexu, my cat, about 36 hours to stop being afraid of the AC, and then really getting into it. Because what I did is it's far away from me, so I don't get any of the cold air. By the time the air hits me, it's dissipated and it's warm.
Right.
So I made my own little ducts out of cardboard so that it would, the air would get a little closer to me.
Yeah.
But then the Nixu just sat in front of it and totally sucked up all the cold.
Giant heat sink is basically what you've got there.
Yeah. But I did stream in the heat, and at the end of yesterday I was like, I gotta get out of my room. I gotta get something to eat. I gotta drink some more water, and so I called it a little early, but
nasty. And then you didn't stream today at all, and you said that was
couldn't.
partly from the heat, leftover heat, and all that.
The heat and then work is because everything shut down in Portland. There was no restaurants open because you can't work in a kitchen that's 100 and 50 degrees because you're standing in front of a flat grill and you've got burners right next to you.
I don't know. It was crazy. I think one of the days, I can't remember which one, I did try a restaurant, but it was kind of early in the day before it got hot, and it was already just brutal in the restaurant. I was like, they must have closed it down at some point because it was crazy in there.
It's really fun.
You kind of forget anyway. Yeah, in the Pacific Northwest, I mean, it's AC is non-universal. I mean, we're kind of fortunate in that both of us have AC at all. And and a lot of people just don't. And I didn't have it for years, and if a day like that is just crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new AC. It'll be here next week, and I'm going to try and make love to it so that I can have little tiny ACs. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll probably get hurt, but I'm going to give it a shot.
That's right. Whatever it takes.
So, also, I've been playing my smuggler and enjoying the story, and I usually don't go through Coffee and Kotet on non-force using characters just because
it feels different.
It feels a little wonky to me. And I'm gonna try it this time just because I want to see if the smuggler has any more wonky, or not wonky, but snarky comments during the
you'll find a few, I'm sure.
The chat told me that there's going to be a couple, and that's going to be worth it to me to check it out. But what was I going to say? I've realized what I don't like about the gunslinger, and it does great damage. It has great like a AOE DPS.
Really good, yeah.
It is just a monotonous rotation. It's the same thing every time, and that's great.
Have you tried different specs, or is it the one spec, or is there one spec in particular that you find very rotational?
I forgot which one it is.
Was it the dot one, or is it the special engineering one?
Sharpshooter. Maybe?
Sharpshooter. Okay, so it is. That's a very straightforward one, where
which is great.
You use it, you do the little follow through, you do something else, you do the follow through.
Right.
Basically, almost everything causes a follow through you can use afterward.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love that little follow through. It's a lot of damage, and it's damn near free in terms of energy. It's really good. It's a nice little ability. But yeah, it's a very straightforward. It's probably one of the most straightforward, specs in the game at this point.
It's boring. I get bored of the rotation.
Okay,
and
fair enough.
I don't know if that's something. Maybe I should start doing some PvP on that character because, having it down so well, I'm so good at it.
Well, just be prepared. People love to jump on snipers.
Oh, because
they're a little squishy, and they know that if they just ignore them, then they're just gonna get burned down hard by them. So
right.
They tend to be targeted quite early. So
so I'm trying to squash the rotation by I don't know. I've been doing even more spacebar being on her.
Nice.
And I'm romancing Corso. Ugh. Come on, Corso.
Yeah. Not my favorite romance in the game either, but he's very sweet and very earnest. He's mostly sweet, except for very early on, and like in the class story, he's kind of brutal against the separatists, but on Ord Mantell. But usually he's pretty kind of sweet type of guy. But yeah,
he's a tool. He's a total tool. I want to do the old, hey, look, there's an eagle. And when he goes to look, just push him in the river. Bye-bye. I did do a little bit of the Nightlife event today.
Yeah, I did a bit too. Just a very light amount, but yes.
it's so fun to just turn your brain off, listen to a podcast, and ding, 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 go do. You hit the ones, then you go over and get the other ones, and then every once in a while you get the big one, then you go over there and you go,
right,
and then repeat, rinse, repeat, and do all that. But I love it. I love having that in the game, and
yep. Well, we'll be talking about that more in the news, and also there was the Mind Trap about it too. So look forward to that.
Yeah. And that's about it for me, man. What's up in chat?
Right. Let me see. Let me pull up the chat. See who it shows. All Tools showing. Bantha Mojito, Cheryl Mercury, Cryo Slate, Dex here. Hey Deck. Evan04111, Ezobey, Fox Snipey, Intasar Nar, Lone Wolf, Master Lil, Merlin Swotor, Pritikill, Rjars here, Starry Saber, hey Starry, Tsunami Safari. I love that name, but it mashes together. It's like I always have to read it, check it twice before I read it. Wayward Wanderer 813 and Zen 0001 is here. Hey Zen. It's funny. I rarely see Zen like in chat, and yet he's like always he's always watching. It's nice. So it's nice.
Zen's always watching.
Oh, there he is. He did chat today, so that's great. So he's usually kind of quiet, but or she, I don't know actually, to be honest. But yeah, now he is. He asked how hot we were in Celsius. So apparently he lives somewhere where Celsius is the norm, which is basically anywhere but the U.S.
Let's get Celsius. I'm down.
Yeah. So we got up to 45 basically. So 45 is I think hot for just about anywhere in the world. I don't think anywhere considers 45 degrees like, oh, that's nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's hot for like anywhere, like Arizona, Australia, any of that.
Tatooine.
So Tatooine, yeah, pretty much. We were pretty much sunning it that day. So yeah, so hey everyone, I did the duck hunt on June 19th. You were there too.
I did the duck
hunt too. I failed hard to find Ducky. I was like the second from last person to find him. It was really pathetic. Which is kind of typical for me. Like I have the worst luck or strategy or skill. I don't know what it is. But I rarely do very well in the actual duck hunt part of the duck hunt event. But he was there, and everyone found him, and I was there like right at the end. But whatever. However, as is also kind of usual for me, I did well in the race. I took third. I took a kind of a bad turn fairly early on after the first big turn. We were on Ilum, by the way. He hit out we were on one side, and he hit about kind of near the other side's base. That was kind of fun. And then the race was like, it turns out Ilum was kind of genius to have a race on, because you can actually use the tunnel to get from the regular like story side of Ilum to the Gree event side and back, and you can create this huge loop for people to go around. And it was like one of the longest races, if not the longest Utini 500 race that he's ever done.
It was brutal.
And it took a long time. It was really awesome. Unfortunately, after the first turn, I took like a bad turn before the tunnel to get to the west side, to the Gree event side, and I wasn't able to really recover from that. But I took third anyway, so I did okay. Like I say, I'm pretty good at the race. I don't know why I do well at that, but I usually do. Except for, like I said, I took a bad turn and I had to backtrack a little bit. Never was able to make up for it. I don't know. Even if I didn't take that though, I don't know if I would have taken first, because who took first? Whoever it was. Oh, it was Kuze, wasn't it? It was. I think it was Kuze.
It was his first race, and
he'd come back events after like a long time, and this is like his first time. Kuze, thank you, Lone Wolf confirmed it. Kuze took first, and he took it by like a mile. Like he rocked it. He completely blew everyone else away. Even if I not taken that bad turn, I don't think I would have beaten Kuze. Probably would have taken second, because I was only about 5 seconds behind the number 2 person. But it is what it is. It was fun. There's a lot of really good, prizes. So I actually got the Infernal Volptilla mount, which is like, holy crap, that's like a really, really nice mount. Yeah, really recent, very like fancy. It's actually a creature mount with a flare. Like most of the creature mounts don't have flares. That's a very new thing. You mount up on it, and it's normal. And then if you hit the flare, then the little back. Because of the Infernal Volptilla, so it's a fire instead of cold, and the little glowing back tendrils or whatever you want to call it, scruff or mane
Crystals.
or whatever you want to call it. It's like a mane kind of, it's over the shoulders. They kind of glow a lot brighter, and also they start emitting sparks. So when you're running around, these little sparks kind of flying behind you. So it's a really nice one. I've actually unlocked that on the character who I was doing that on, and I'm sure I'll unlock it for the whole account at some point. Either for the full price or maybe when there's a sale, whatever. Really nice mount though. It was a lot of fun, and there wasn't time, unfortunately, for the for punching because that race took a long time, but it was really fun.
Shrek was waiting.
Yep. Still leveling Tigra. She's on Yavin 4. She's almost level 70. She's like, I usually do like the Yavin 4. I do the first run through, and then like when you have to go back and do all the missions, and then you do the Revan fight. That's sort of like the second. I consider that like the second part of Yavin. She's like right there. And I'm putting her aside though for a little bit because of double XP. Because I know if I do any more on her, it's just she'll just be almost instantly 75, and it's like whatever. So instead, I decided to have some fun. I'm going to do something a little different. So yesterday, before double XP started, I created a Marauder to level up via PvP. After you get to level 10 and you're on the fleet. So I created a second Gwenpool because I liked that one back when I made her, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that, as a Sentinel. Made her as a Marauder. Got her through Korriban, and she's now level, I got her to the fleet, and when I started the PvPing, she was like level 14. It's not perfect. I was kind of aiming for level 10, but, it's hard to get that perfect. It already feels weird that I'm not going to do the story because it's like I have Vet, and that's and then I have the companion. I have like the companions that I've unlocked just for the account, and that's it. Right. That's all the companions she's going to get.
It's a great idea, though.
It feels very weird. Yeah. So today we have the double XP. The event started. We'll talk about this in a minute, but the double XP event has started. So and so I did I didn't have a ton of time, but I did a couple of war zones on her. And so she's gotten several levels from that because the double XP, and you get conquest really fast from doing that. And it's like, she's gone from level 13 and she's like level 18 now. It's like crazy how fast it goes. I've done like 2 war zones on her. You also get double Valor, which you don't really notice, usually it's like the double XP event. It is also double Valor, but people don't really think about it a lot. But she's already like level Valor, level like 11. It's like crazy. It's like it's the Valor amount you can get on this is pretty crazy. Now the early levels of Valor go really fast, and then it slows way the hell down.
Right.
So we'll see how far we get during the event. But I'm kind of curious to see like how long it'll take to get leveled up. And it's fun. It's already fun. So I'm looking forward to doing that a lot more. And I'm just going to be doing that during double XP, and we'll see how that goes.
I was actually... Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say...
I was actually thinking of doing a PvP character as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that our friend Kogas has... he's been working on his YouTube channel, and he mains a Jug. And so I was kind of thinking of the idea of leveling up a Jug and just doing it PvP as well.
Yeah.
And going through and using his guide and stuff like that on the stream. So that's interesting that you're going to do one up PvP.
Yeah, too. It's already kind of fun. I actually am using those Valor boosts that like you get from login rewards. There's Valor boosts, and like you never have any use for them, usually. So it's kind of cool that she's got a Valor boost rolling, and then that's probably all. Of course, that's part of why that plus double Valor. I mean, that's part of why only 2 war zones, and we've already gotten 10 levels in or whatever.
2 war zones.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun, and of course, I feel really like weak because remember they changed it recently, so 10 to 74 is now all one big bulk.
No!
It's one big block.
And you don't even have a
So I don't have an interrupt.
Yeah, you don't have your interrupt. I always wait till at least I have an interrupt.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. She didn't have an interrupt. She still actually technically doesn't have an interrupt. She needs like one more level. I think probably after the next Warzone she'll have it. But yeah, she no interrupt. She only has like 2 cooldowns. She has like 4 or 5 abilities ish, something like that, and the jump, and that's about it. It's very, very simple right now. Man. It's gonna be fun to try though, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I actually found that if I time it right, like the cooldowns actually really do help. Like I always consider them very weak, and they kind of are, but if you use them right at the right time, it really does mitigate a lot of damage. So
yeah,
pretty good.
My favorite class too.
Yeah,
I love Marauder. It's so fun. The rotation on it is so busy and so fun.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna. I could do Carnage, but I think I'm gonna try Fury this time. It's the old Smash spec. It's been nerfed. It's not like the crazy overpowered PvP spec anymore that it used to be. But it's still, as I understand it, it's still quite viable in PvP. And I wanted to try that one, partly because usually I do go for like the Carnage spec, which is the one with the maul or the thing that it's like a big armor pen ability and all that stuff. And that's fun too. But I wanted to try something a little different. So yeah, it's already kind of fun. Like I say, it's a Gwenpool one, so I have like regular type swords or like Vibra swords. I put like pink crystals in them. She's got an all white and pink outfit. All that sort of stuff. It's really fun.
Where does Gwen come from? I get pool, but who's Gwen?
Gwen, like Gwen, like in Into the Spider-Verse, and Gwen is like one of his romantic interests, and then in some of the sort of alternate realities, Gwen sort of gets like mixed up in the story in different ways. So there's actually a Spider Gwen sometimes, and then there's also a Gwen Pool, although depending on the story that you follow with that one, she's not necessarily the one from Spider-Man, so it's very confusing. Gotcha.
But there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Good. She's actually more Deadpool-ish than she is like Spider-Man-ish, because she in the comics she sort of she breaks the fourth wall a lot, and
like Deadpool.
Like yeah, exactly. Like her main ability is her character is sort of like someone who knows comics really well, but also like enters into the comic stories. But because of that, she actually knows what's going to happen, and she can like avoid things or stop them from happening. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So like the toy that I use is the one that you die and then you have like the loot light, because it's very fourth wall-y. So I use that as a regen toy and stuff like that. So good stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep going with that, and we'll see how it goes. So
nice.
Yeah. All right, let me have a little water, and then we'll do the tip of the week.
I had a tip and forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a couple, so it's all good this time.
Totally forgot.
It's fine.
Like I forgot to not only to write them down and put them into the show notes, but I don't even remember what they are.
Well, if you think of it later, you can do it, or do it next time, or it's all good. I'm not worried at all. This is something that has come up before. I think I've mentioned this before, but I like to mention it because I made this character, and it turns out like her chest piece is like white and pink, but then some of the other pieces have to be pink and white, and it's all it uses a lot of extra dyes because of that, and it gets very expensive. So this is my tip of the week. If you're going to use a dye in an outfit, there is, of course, you can stamp it in the outfitter, and then you can add the dye if you like. Consider not doing that, though. Consider actually taking the piece and just stamping the actual piece, because what you can do then is you can stamp the piece with the dye, and when you do that, it will stamp it with the dye. But because you've done it that way, you actually have the piece still in your inventory with the dye in it, and you can therefore make another outfit later on if you need an outfit, that uses that particular dye. And that way you're not having to scramble around looking for yet another dye yet again. So because a lot of times the outfits that you're going to be using, it's stuff that's like in unlocks and collections and stuff like that. They're basically, you've already paid for them. They're taken care of, and they're essentially free at that point. So, but dyes, of course, are the opposite. They are not unlockable. You cannot you get a die, you use a die, and it is gone. So dies are the ones you have to kind of watch out for. So stamp the piece and put the die inside the piece and then stamp it, and that way you've still got the item. You can put it in your storage, and if you need it with that particular die, you can just pull it out again. And if you need one without that die or with a different die, well, you just create another set out of collections, and that one will be fresh and won't have a die in it, and you're all good to go. So that's my first tip.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. This one's not really confirmed, but I'm like 90 to 95% sure this is actually working, because I noticed it today when I did it on my new character, on my low level character. I made sure that this was the first time since we now have 6.3.1, but this is also like the weekly reset for Galactic Seasons. All the weeklies and dailies. Well, the dailies every day, but also the weeklies. And what I did is I made sure to go in on that low level character first. And what I gained by that is the Galactic Seasons options that came up for the weeklies and the dailies are all things that character can do. Does that make sense? So if I had logged into, say, my banking alt, which is level 75, of course, because you're gonna gain XP over time anyway, and she's been 75 for a while now. The options for Galactic Seasons can be practically anything at 75. So it can be operations, it can be flashpoints in this part of the galaxy, it can be insectoids on wherever, or what, all that sort of thing.
Right.
When I logged in on her and she was like level 13, I think 14 once I logged in, the ones she got are War Zones, which is exactly what I wanted.
Right. Galactic
Starfighter, which I'm not going to do on her, but if you want to do a Galactic Starfighter, you could do sort of the same trick and it would work very well, because I assume at level 10 to 14 or whatever, there's not a whole lot of options for you to actually, for them to give you for the weekly.
Right.
And then for the daily, it was War Zones, which is perfect. That's what I wanted anyway. And the other one is one I've never seen before, but she could do, which is Capital World Enemies. I've never even seen Capital World Enemies before.
Capital World Enemies?
Capital World Enemies. So Dromancos Korriban.
Right.
Or not, sorry, Dromancos Coruscant. Dromancos Coruscant.
Killing any of the
killing things on Dromancos and Coruscant. That's what it was.
Oh wow.
So yeah, usually those killing enemies, it's like, and then it'll say, and it'll say like the Hutt part of the world, or the seat of the Empire or whatever. And you have to be kind of high level. But because she was like level 14, it gave me this one that I've never seen before. I didn't even know Capital World Enemies was a Galactic Seasons option. I didn't even know that could happen. So
Tsunami says, yes, that's why I always log on to a level 15 toon first
every day. Yeah, I would say if you're getting serious about PvP, do that. Like make like a low level character, get him up to 10. And then just, any day that you want to be doing PvP, you'll have the best chance of it if you just log into them and boom. And I'll bet you the rerolls work similarly too, although I have not tested that at all. But I'll bet you if it doesn't have War Zones, I bet it's one of the only other ones that can come up. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool? Now, again, like, it's not like this is really proven, but it's like, how could this not be the way it's working? Because clearly, and I kind of noticed it because in like some of the patch notes, they were saying like blah 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 will not on Galactic Seasons will not show up if the character is not eligible. So it's like, oh, so they're actually taking eligibility into account. So that's why I actually logged into my low level character, is to see what would show up as her Galactic Seasons options, and that's what it was. It's all low level stuff. It was Starfighter, and it was War Zones for the weeklies, and then it was Warzone O of 1 for the daily, and it was the weird Capital World killing. So yeah,
do you
crazy.
Have to be level 10? Can you do it at level 5?
Well, at level 5, you're not eligible really, because you have to be able to get like conquests or you have to be eligible for all this stuff. So I don't
level 10.
Yeah, level 10. Yeah, Tsunami Safari is also saying you can get veteran flashpoints for weekly. Otherwise, it's just GSF and war zones. So yeah, apparently this does work. So I hadn't confirmed it, but apparently Tsunami Safari is confirming that this is pretty much the way it works. So yeah, suggestion of the week, tip of the week, big one. You know, if what you want is in that limited list, boom, make a character or just log on to a character that's, you know, low level and go for it. And you're pretty much kind of guaranteed to get stuff like that. Now, you know, she's going to be leveling up, so it won't work forever. But, you know, I guess I could make another character, but I'm not going to bother doing that. But for now, I'm going to be logging onto her first every day and not my banking alt, because my banking alt would just set it for, you know, operations and whatever. So, yeah.
That's a good one.
Right.
You heard it first here.
Yeah,
everyone.
and Star Saber actually said, be careful not to log on to characters under level 10 when the weekly resets, which would be like today, like if you haven't logged in yet today, because it can bug out and then you might get the previous week's ones. So, yeah, so don't log out into one who's not eligible first. So, a little iffy there, but yeah. All right, so there we go. If you have a tip of the week, please send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show for a chance to win a Tonfon M830 droid peg code or the M2B9 droid code, courtesy of BioWare, and an OotiniCast provided ultimate pack. And that will bring us to the Mind Trap. And we decided to go ahead and talk about the Nightlife event. It is returning June 29th, as we said, and it is now June 29th. And we said, if participating, what is the main draw for you? And so the options were event-specific prizes, cartel market certificates, fun, relaxation, and atmosphere, or just not participating. How about you, Kitty? What was your vote on this one?
I am going to do. I want cartel market certs.
You know what? That was mine too. It's like my favorite thing to get there. Now I must say, like, you know, we did this a week ago, and this is before the event actually launched, and they were very cagey about like whether there was even going to be a lot of like new things. Like they weren't telling us ahead of time, is there anything new, and if so, what is it, or what can we expect? They kind of kept it on the down low. Maybe, I don't know why. Maybe they just by now everyone assumes that there's going to be new stuff every year. I didn't assume it. And I don't know if a lot of other people were necessarily assuming it either, because like this particular Mind Trap did not get a lot of votes. It got under 100 votes, which is really low for us. That. Yeah, very low for us. I think that the Nightlife event, because it wasn't hyped up with, you know, letting us know that there's actually going to be new stuff, which it turns out there very much is, and they're very interesting. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I think the pre-launch expectations were pretty low. So anyway, but let's see what the vote went. Event-specific prizes was 30.5%. Cartel market certificates was 24.4%. Fun, relaxation, and atmosphere is 19.5%. And then about a quarter not participating, 25.6%. So there you go.
That's a nice breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we've had two of them biting for first and second place.
Yeah, these are pretty tight.
Just creaming it. And these are almost, you know, like 24. Yeah. They're right on there.
Right. There's like a 10%.
That's great.
There's basically a 10-11% gap between first and fourth. So yeah, it's pretty tight this time. Yeah, I like the cartel market certificates as well, at least in a general sense. But now that there's some of the new stuff that's out that we'll talk about later, I'm actually interested in some of those. So there we go.
I'm just about to break 100.
Yep.
I spent a lot, so I've been saving them. You know, I went in today and I'm like, gimme, baby.
Nice.
Yeah,
Zen's also saying, yeah, I didn't think there was going to be anything new. So yeah, I definitely was not alone in thinking, well, you know, they're just going to bring it back, but maybe there just won't be anything new. There's new stuff, which is cool.
Yeah. There's some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, and because the pre-hype was not very high, you know, we have some people say, you know, replying to or just kind of responding in general to the poll, just saying, you know, I'm not participating. I don't like slot machines in real life and not in my entertainment. Someone else is saying it's kind of damning for SWTOR that, you know, only 1 in 5 do it because they enjoy it. there's just like sort of a lot of low level sort of like not real interested sort of things. Some people like mounts. I should get into the events, but I'm often preoccupied by leveling alts. Boy, I can understand that. Whatever the big reward is from the slot machines, if it's the Rhodian again, I'll probably just go for decorations. So again, people seem to just assume that there wasn't going to be anything new. Someone else just said, I don't know if I want to yet. So there you go. Like, I think given the fact that like some of these new things are actually pretty cool, maybe they should have pre-hyped it a little bit more. I don't know if maybe, perhaps it's at least slightly possible that like maybe some of these came out together at the last minute and they were working at the bugs and they just couldn't announce it because they weren't 100% sure, if it was going in or not. But yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. So let's go ahead and get on to the holo feed. 6.3.1 is live now as of today, the 29th of June. Double XP, Valor, and Renown for 2 weeks. So you have that for 2 weeks. I don't know how long it'll take me to get to 75 from where she is, but given how much XP I'm getting per Warzone, I suspect this is going to go pretty quickly.
You're going to get up there quick.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, too. I'm looking forward to it, because, like, I don't know why I avoid PvP, because I know I like it, and yet I don't necessarily do it a lot, so I don't know what that is.
I bet it's because you have to rely on someone else.
To a degree. That's got to be it. Yeah.
You like to get into the story because you can start it and stop it when you want it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons that I don't do it as much as I think I'd like to, because I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to stop when I want to stop.
Yeah.
And sometimes getting your butt kicked for like 20 straight minutes sucks.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that I was just really going to get thrashed when I was like level 14, 15, 16, with hardly any abilities. And it will happen, eventually, and it'll get better as I get more of the abilities and more of the utility points and all those good things coming along. But yeah, there'll definitely be times like that for sure.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about it is, like, once you sort of set yourself on doing it a certain way, then it kind of helps you overcome the sort of the inertia of not doing PvP, because it's like, okay, now that I'm doing PvP, we're just going to do it every day and I'll get used to it, and boom, we'll be right back in the game. So in addition to the double XP, Valor, and Renown, we also have for 1 week the Rakghoul event. This one's going to be on Tatooine, so that's also starting today. And then the Nightlife Event is starting, and that's going through July 13th. So this is sort of the typical month and a half-ish, or not month and a half-ish, but several weekish.
It's only going to July 13th?
Yeah, is that right?
August, huh?
I had that. Let me look. Okay, I might have to redo that later. We'll see it though. I got that from somewhere, but maybe it is going to be longer than that.
Because in the past, I know that they've gone into August.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll recheck the time on that. But anyway, it'll go for a little while. We have a little time on that. So they didn't say it ahead of time. There are new things at the event, and actually, So Teresa did a pretty good job of putting out some tweets about them. However, several of them are videos, so I haven't actually put those in the show notes. Instead, I've put links to her actual tweets, because most of these are videos, actually. There is a new pair of sunglasses as a rare drop from the Emperor slot called High Roller Shades, and they're really interesting because what they will do is, well, first of all, there's two things that are really unusual about them. First of all, they're goggles that you can definitely see your character's eyes underneath them. Like, they don't completely shut off your character's eyes the way most of the goggles in the game do. Some of them you can kind of barely see eyes underneath, but it's like they're like really fogged. You can barely see anything underneath them. But most of them are you just completely blank, like you cannot see the person's eyes at all. These you can very much see the person's eyes underneath it. The other cool thing is that the glasses actually have this really funky sort of rainbow effect that sort of happens with them. It's a really nice. Yeah, Dekion says that it's kind of like polarized light. Like if you look at certain polarizers in light, and it shows sort of like rainbowy waves and stuff like that. It has that sort of effect, which is kind of cool.
It looks very 80s snowboard goggles.
Kind of, yeah. And they have the little hangy down things, and there's like a credit sign in the middle, which is kind of weird, but okay. There was a little joke going on. Someone said, "Can we get this without the credit sign?" And Sorisa says, "I'm sure that's coming, in the cartel market soon." Basically, is what she said. There also, in addition, there's going to be decoration walls. So decos that are actually like walls, so you can put up walls in your stronghold. The walls do not in turn have decoration hooks on them. They are just walls that you can move around and stuff. But you can make mazes and stuff, and they have doors in them that work with buttons and such like that. So pretty cool idea there. So you can actually put walls up. There are also floor traps, which is kind of fun. There's a fire one, an ice one, and a knock-up one, so you can kind of bump it up. She did some testing on it and said, just because I know some of you like KS as much as I do, you cannot use the SWTOR blast pad to try to be blasted into another pad and make a never-ending blast path. Unfortunate, but whatever. And also,
I wonder if that's for PvP.
I don't know. And also, you cannot put it where someone loads in and to make them blast as they load in.
Thank you, Teresa, for doing the science.
So yeah, there's also now a Kingpin Grigna mount, which you can buy for 30 golden certificates. So this is not one of the ones where you have to like get it as a jackpot only. So 30 golden certificates, which the ranker still costs at this point. I thought they might lower the price and make it like second tier, since the Kingpin's ranker has been around a few years, but no, it's still 30. I checked on the vendor today. But the Grigna is really interesting. It's sort of I don't know
Bendu.
What. Yeah,
it looks like Bendu.
Okay. Yeah.
From Star Wars Rebels.
Okay. I don't remember what those look like very much, but if I'm thinking like they're little ice trompery, and that they're like hulking. They're like really big and hulking. Only instead of they have like these giant like sort of antler things on the front. It's very it's sort of intimidating. Like this would be really good. It'd be really good like if you have like a barbarian sort of character, like, or someone who's like, you know what I mean? Like someone who wears like the battle harness.
He-Man.
Yeah, right. Like the battle harness outfit or something like that. This would be like a perfect mount for someone like that. So that one's available. There's also a Gonk droid pet. We thought this was going to come last year because there was like this little claw machine Gonk droid in the corner, and it was in there last year, but there didn't seem to be any way to get it. And everyone was wondering, well, what's up with that? Well, it's here this year, apparently.
I have wanted that thing for so long, and I want it now. Right.
And it is like a little Gonk droid, but it's also like the bigger one that you see in the Nightlife event. It is a little claw machine. So it's like a Gonk droid, but it's like there's like a little window and there's like a little claw machine, prize thing inside, which is pretty cool. So a lot of really neat stuff there. I'm really looking forward to trying to get some of these.
Yeah.
I think especially for me, I want to try out the shades. I think that sounds really interesting. Last time I checked before the show, I was trying to find out from Soterista if it dropped bind to legacy or bind on pickup. So I'm not sure which one it is. So I'm not sure if you have to be on the right character, when you go and get it, or if you can just give it to someone in your legacy.
Yeah, they've been pretty good at making those things, bind to legacy so that you can put it in your legacy.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hoping what it is, but I just haven't confirmed it yet.
Dekion says it's legacy.
It is legacy. Good. Well, that's excellent, because I really want to. I can definitely see those being useful. Like there's a lot of there's a lot of characters who use glasses, but there's not. Yeah, the glasses in the game, I've used them before, but they're not ideal. Like, you know what I mean? Like they don't look like glasses. Like they right. they close off the eyes a lot. These don't, and I think they're awesome looking. Let's see. In addition, so that's the Nightlife event. Very much looking forward to that. There was a restart of the servers a couple of hours into 6.3.1 to patch an issue where the POs from Galactic Seasons were not updating. In other words, you were doing things that should have caused them to advance, but they weren't. They seem to work now because after, I waited until after that, and then I I got one completed on my new character. I did the Warzone one, and it actually completed for me, and I got a credit for it just fine. So that one's fine. There's also, unfortunately, when they were starting to patch it, there was an unfortunate window of time when like the wrong patch became available for a very short time, and it was causing people to download a version of the game that was not active, and therefore it was causing a whole like you have to like pretty much repatch your whole game. Unfortunately, if that was you, it was a very short amount of time, but it was deeply affecting the people who that happened to. So
right,
yeah, so they have there was a fix that would automatically deploy the correct version. But unfortunately, it sounds like the patch is basically a reload of most of the game. So unfortunate. Yeah. There's one other notice that they've noticed. 6.3.1 might have fixed this, but I'm not 100% sure. Insectoid killing in Galactic Seasons, the daily PO is not updating when you kill an insectoid on Osis if you have not done the Osis storyline, which is interesting. So it's like, if you just go to Osis but you haven't done the storyline, you can't gain credits for killing insectoids there, right? Which is interesting.
Code.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. That was that was a few days ago. So that might have been patched. We'll see, we'll have to find out about that one. But it was interesting. There's 6.3.1. Like when we get to the patch note information a little bit later, it's like there's a few like things like the Nightlife Event, the double XP event, and then there's like pages of like bug fixes. It's like mostly bug fixes. Like, there's an unusual bug where in Secrets of the Enclave, your quick bar would unlock, so you could accidentally like remove your abilities and stuff like that by accident.
That would be infuriating if you didn't know it was a bug. You're like, I locked it. I know I locked it.
Yeah,
what's going
exactly.
on?
And some people, like I very much am a typist from like way back, so I don't. Even when my quick bar unlocks a lot, I very rarely lose things. But if you're a clicker and you're fiercely trying to click, you're definitely going to be pulling things up and yoinking them out and losing abilities for sure. Mm-hmm. So that's not so good. So so be careful in Secret of the Enclave. We'll see how about that one too. But I just thought that was interesting. There's a little Galactic Seasons check-in. So yeah, they said at that point, this is like a week ago, we're targeting 6.3.1 for next week. I've been reading feedback on announcing when patches will be launched. There's a lot that goes into the messaging surrounding when a patch goes live, so we take care in the timing of posting that info. We also want to say that we will be more mindful of giving a general timeline when possible. Regarding the vendors on Galactic Seasons, Gillette now will always be available regardless of the season being active or not, because presumably there'll be like a short downtime between seasons. Her inventory will continually cycle through the same rotation as noted in David's post, so even off season, that's going to continue. Once Group D is done, the rotation cycles back to Group A and so on. And Kiat Tavo will have Season 1 items until Season 2 starts. In other words, even after it ends, but there's that downtime. Then his Season 1 items will be removed and replaced with Season 2 items. So there you go. Okay, the 6.3.1 patch notes, most of it, a lot of it we've talked about. Yeah, it's really long, but it's like it's all little bug fixes from here and there in the game. Like they were really going hard after the bug fixes this time. A couple of interesting things, though. Free-to-play players can now create in-game bug report tickets with the /bug command, so that is actually new.
That's great.
Yep. Increase the cap of tech fragments to 11,000, up from 10,000. This seems to be so that if you're trying to go for that 10,000 for that one new item that costs exactly 10,000, you won't just waste a bunch of tech fragments. Like if you delete an item, and it goes over, you won't just wave it bye-bye. Then there's like typo bug fixes, emotes that are no longer missing, Flashpoint bug fixes. There's Warzone bug fixes where like there were several war zones, especially arenas, where like people were just automatically insta dying if they hit certain areas of the map. Apparently a lot of those have been fixed. There's also one where if you would have gone through a trap, say like on a hut ball, whatever, or something like that, if you're using your those instant traverse sort of teleportation abilities that several classes have, it would actually kill you because you went through like a death area.
All right.
Now apparently though you can teleport, and it won't have considered you to have traveled through the death thing, so you'll actually survive it. I thought that was awesome.
They've also done a abbreviation on some of the chat commands, which I found really interesting.
Are you going to use those, or?
I use chat commands, or not emotes.
Oh, on the emotes? Okay.
Yeah, so that I like that.
Right. So there's a /ty/thanks /Kong for congratulations /grats /congrats and /lol.
Well.
Yeah. In other words, they're kind of opening up, like, because that way you don't have to know. Oh, in SWTOR you have to laugh. You have to use /laugh.
Right.
Now it's just /lol will work as well. That sort of thing.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's nice. There's going to be a legacy bank in the VIP area of the fleet for both factions, so they're buffing that up a little bit. Yeah. There's let's see. There's just tons of like little bug fixes, and it's like
so much.
Yeah, exactly. Players can no longer hear the door audio of other players on the Viking space dock penthouse. I can see where that would get annoying. You can actually hear, like, sometimes if you're in your ship, your class ship, once in a while the game will sort of like, just very briefly, you'll even see them once in a while, where like someone will be entering theirs, and before they disappear you can like hear them and even see them briefly once in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you remember that one time when you rode your mount into your ship?
Yeah. Right.
We're both like, whoa, what's going on?
How did that work? Yeah, I was on it for like a little while, and then I finally kind of realized it, and it kind of bumped me off, but like way longer than usually for that sort of thing. That was really funny. Let's see. It's always trying to hard trying to figure out what are the ones we care about.
Right.
There's little cartel market bugs where it's like, certain items are showing wrong icons and little things like that, like tons of little bugs like that. Mythosaur Hunter's helmet had a little bug fix, so it looks better. Nice. Master Rhaenys' lightsaber icons now correctly reflect her chosen color crystal. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm kind of scamming through as well, trying to find something.
Yeah, there were some decos that were not tradable, but not on purpose, so that was a bug that's been fixed for a bunch of those. Following decos can be purchased for guilds, so they've added several pages of decos that can now be purchased for guilds, which couldn't before, including some cool ones like the Gemini 16, Darth Malgus Hollow, like some pretty famous ones. Nathma Flower. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Let's see. And there was several Flashpoint ones, Flashpoint bug fixes as well. Classes in combat, but there's only a few of these, and they weren't really balances. They just seemed to be bug fixes. So cauterize ability tooltip corrects, displays the correct periodic damage done, stuff like that. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else that's like kind of worth really like going through. Obviously, these are all in the show notes as well as on SWTOR.com. But
the Galactic Seasons, the addition, the ability to get the companions finally for Galactic Seasons, which is, I've wanted Master Rhanos since I was too lazy to try and get her back in Dark versus Light.
Yep, so, that's been a while.
Those look like they're available. I think that's right around the time that I took my break from the game too. Right after Dark versus Light, I was like, all right, I gotta take a break.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's some operations bug fixes as well. Most of them not really, sort of game changing, but certain, like the weekly nature of progress operation is now correctly removed from the fleet operation terminals after the mission is accepted by players, stuff like that. The following world bosses are now correctly dropping level 75 loot: Lucky, Dropjaw, and Olgo Siegebreaker. We do Lucky a lot on the Jar Jar Joyride, so I guess someone will be probably happy that we get some 75 loot there. And let's see. War zones, like I said, using holo locate ability a second time will actually let a player go back to their marked location. Players are no longer instantly killed in the Mandalorian battle ring arena. Stuff like that.
They really did a lot.
Yeah, it's like just tons of bug fixes.
It makes me so happy, and I mean 90% of these I never noticed, but I love that they're fixing this stuff up.
Yeah, Galactic Seasons will now have a season's end timer and date on the Galactic Seasons window. I didn't actually notice it today, but I'm looking forward to checking that out. It's probably there, and I probably missed it. But yeah, it'll be good to know like when it will end, because it'll give me a much better idea of like, am I on track for it? Because frankly, it's like I know I'm roughly on schedule for it, but
maybe
yeah, I think I'm on schedule, but who knows, you know? And now it'll be a lot more obvious, so that'll be good.
Yeah,
and here's the one that let me think, oh, I should log in on my low level character to get those particular Galactic Seasons locked in. Players who are not eligible for Section X will no longer receive the priority objective daily PO Section X daily missions as one of their daily priority objectives as intended. That's what told me, oh, you know, they're actually choosing those based on what the character can do. And it's like, ooh, okay, what happens if I log in on my low-level character? And there you go.
I am going to make a low-level character because it's double XP. It won't take long.
Yeah, to get to level 10.
Level 5 in a half hour, maybe? Not even that. You get level... you can get to level 3 just by unlocking stuff in your bank.
Yeah. You really can if you have all those it's the titles and stuff like that that unlock and give you XP.
Once you're 10, just go up to the fleet, talk to all
good.
The crafters. Boop boop boop, done.
Yep.
All right.
Tons of little Galactic Season bug fixes.
But I am really excited about getting those companions, because evidently 100 companions isn't enough for me. I need 101.
I know, like and I suppose it's slight. There might be slight differences in like, because certain classes can get like certain companions back and others can't, and like, you know, Mako and Akavi Spar come back together, and if you get one, you can get both of them. But if you're not one of those two classes, you can't get either of them. So like certain classes have a slight difference, but it's like if you do all of those and you get all the Sky Fortresses, Star Fortress ones,
right.
It's like that's another bunch you can get, and you know, and there's the if you care, they're not ones you can send on missions, but there's the bunch from the cartel market.
Yeah.
You know, there's just a ton of them out there. So,
and I need them all. It makes me feel like a big shot when I walk around with a rare companion. Starry Saber says that we have 90 days left.
All right,
Galactic Seasons.
90 days left.
Thank you, Starry Saber. That's a lot. All
right, so and I'm looking. It's like, you know, it's great that these bug fixes are done, but it's hard to tell like which ones should be like really highlighted here on the show. So there you go. Let's just talk about the next thing, which I'm excited about. Live dev stream July 1st, 12 noon Pacific, 7 p.m. UTC. And they wrote, "Hello, SWTOR community." This is on Twitter. "We'll be hosting a live stream to talk about what to expect for our 10th anniversary and beyond. Tune in on July 1st at noon and follow us here." So very excited about this. Obviously, I think it's been about like a year ago where they started talking about the fact that the 10th year anniversary was coming up and that they were planning things for it, like, and they were extremely non-specific. So hopefully we'll actually find out what some of these are and what the future of SWTOR, you know, holds and all that good stuff. I'm really excited. I assume this is going to be a pretty big announcement thing, a pretty big deal. I could be wrong, but when they're talking about the 10th anniversary and beyond, that's a clue that maybe like this is sort of a bit of a, you know, some sort of roadmap sort of deal as well. You know, maybe we'll have an idea of what's going to be happening in the game, which is very exciting.
Very.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions or
Um,
something you'd like to see?
well, I mean, I don't know what they have planned for the 10th anniversary specifically. Usually the anniversary is like, it's nice, but it's like a little thing you log in and you get a little, a deco or a little pet or a little title or whatever. And, there's always some little thing, but that doesn't feel like a big enough deal for like a 10th anniversary reward. So but I don't know what a bigger reward would look like just for the 10th anniversary. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm interested. I'm hoping something really cool for the 10th anniversary rewards.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a special event around it. I don't know how they're doing it.
That would be cool.
Like
never thought of that.
maybe some actual thing where like you actually do something for that period of time, as opposed to it just being a login sort of like, hey, you logged in, here's your reward sort of thing. We're also now 2 years roughly. In October, it'll be 2 years into Onslaught. No one knows. Yeah. We've been in Onslaught a good long time now. This is no joke. We've been in Onslaught for like, we're really close to 2 years now. And they've really given no hints, and they never do. Like when it comes to the big things like the expansions, they've never given hints ahead of time. So
no.
Could if there's going to be an expansion before the end of the year, this might be a good time to do it, I suppose. Because we know there's always a multiple month, lead up, but no one knows anything about that. So
anything you're hoping for, like maybe a new species?
I would love to see a new species. I am still I will still push for the Voss, like until the heat death of the universe. I'm going to be pushing for the Voss to be playable because I think they're really cool, and the fact that they are like half a head taller than anyone else, I don't think is really a deal killer. The deal killer that they think it is.
You're short Voss. That's fine.
Exactly. We're slightly shorter than average Voss. I'm okay with that.
Take your Kiss boots off and you're set.
Yeah. So,
I want a Rhodian. I would love to see Rhodian.
We know that that's a real issue for them because like Rhodians don't speak a lot of Basic for the most part. They almost never speak Basic, and also like it becomes an issue like for the romancing when there's like really weird body parts.
How do you
like,
kiss that
making the kiss thing happen is gonna be. It's very difficult. Like the game is already hard enough for them as it is.
Two Rhodians kissing? I'm down though. That's cool.
Yeah, Lone Wolf just got a mount from the slot. Nice. That's excellent. Yeah, I'm excited to see like but yeah, so I mean if I would love an expansion, but that'd be, who knows. I'm excited to see what they have to say about the 10th anniversary, which we know that they're going to say something about it because it's in the announcement that they're talking about it. So,
finally.
But what I'm hoping for the 10th anniversary is it's not just like a login reward, like it's something more meaty than that. I'd be very excited to see what they've come up with because we know that they've made it a thing. They've kind of made it a thing by talking about it a year before now. Like around this time last year is when they first started saying, hey, we already know that this is the 9th year anniversary coming up, and after that is the big 10th year anniversary, and we're already talking about it behind the scenes. We know that they've been talking about this for a long time, so it almost feels like it has to be more than just a login sort of event, like a login once and get a reward sort of event. So I'm excited to see what that is. I have no idea. Would
it be cool if they did an announcement, and said, we have this next block of story stuff coming, boom, and we're going to be rolling out this storyline.
I'd love that, but
be so awesome.
We'll see.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing my my wild speculation.
All right. All right. So we'll that's coming up again. That's July 1st. That's let me look at what day of the week is that? That is coming up in 2 days, so that is on Thursday. So that's just 2 days from now. I am hyped to see that. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. And usually those things are about an hour. They rarely go longer. We'll see though. So yeah, be there, be square. I guess is all that is. I'm hoping I don't have any. I do have something on Thursday. I have an appointment, but I think it's late enough that I'll still be able to watch this live. I'm hoping. If not, they always archive it. It's it's available on Twitch as one of the archive shows, and then I think they usually put it up on YouTube nowadays as well. But it'll be good.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be streaming it.
Awesome.
For sure.
That'll be fun too. All right, that'll bring us to the Force feedback. Read out your tweets and emails, and from Darklight Wolf. And Darklight Wolf's been really great. He's been in chat a lot. I know he shows up on both of our streams quite a bit. Good person. Greetings, Exalted Ones. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Adrian Smithwalker, Jedi Master and friend to OotiniCast. But all comedic acts aside, I'm known as the wisecracking werewolf. Oh yeah, so this is Werewolf. He shows up on like the Jar Jar Joyride and stuff. I just wanted to give a howl of thanks to you guys for inducting me as an official guild member of Ootini Knights and Ootini Rage. There are some topics I would like to take the time and effort in discussing with you, but I can't think of them at the moment. Wolfie's brain is a bit furry at the moment. Boy, I've been feeling that way the last few days with this heat. What am I saying? I'm a wolf, so of course I would be furry, fuzzy, and somewhat snuggly, the whole enchilada. Damn it, now I'm making myself hungry. Thank you, brain and tummy. Alright, Wolfie won't roll over and play dead all day, or will he? Dun dun dun. I'm a great fan of you guys and everything you do to bring comedic moments and friendly banter to SWTOR. What was that? Nexu? Of course, I'll buy sustenance and refreshments for the Ootini Guild at the Star Wars celebration on May 26th through the 29th in Anaheim next year. I would love to go that. I'm hoping I will be able to this time. Obviously things have happened, with Corona and everything else. Wanted to say thank you to Chill, Kitty, Deck, Fee, Wolf, who all done so much for this young wolf since he first howled his way into Ootini. I would end with a closing statement or remark, but I guess the inner werewolf in me decided to go barking mad at some point or another. He does like puns. Sincerely, Darklight Wolf 1138. P.S. Would love to discuss anything and everything Star Wars related with you guys someday on OotiniCast. Thank you, Darklight Wolf. Appreciate that. So now we know. Now we have the definite connection then between Darklight Wolf 1138 and Werewolf in the Discord. So there we go. So
it's confirmed.
All right, fun stuff. And let's see, we also got one from Michael. And let's see, Michael said, "Hey guys, just wondering, as Altaholics, do you theme your mounts and companions? Jill, I know you did with your Shrek guy. For example, I, on my Jedi Knight, use only Force user companions, and HK, of course, and only live mounts and no machines. It's what Kenobi would do. Am I alone, or do you also share this weirdness? Regards, Michael." So... well, I know Kitty will have more to say this than I will about, so I'll just start. I often do, yes. Like, when I do a cosplay character, I do often think about, like, what mounts would work best, sometimes what companions would work best, especially if there's one that I can tie in. When I did Shrek, then I had a Fiona character in Kira. Kira looks a fair bit like the human form of Fiona, so I dressed her up in an outfit. I dyed it green and yellow and the whole thing, and that was pretty awesome. I often do think about mounts as well. I'm with you. Not every time, but a lot of times with Force users, I will stick to creature companions. That's a pretty common theme for me as well. It definitely feels appropriate for Force users of both dark and light side to have sort of that Force connection to their mount. Not always, sometimes, and sometimes I mix it up. But yeah, definitely I like to do both of those when possible. For example, the Gwenpool character, like all of her mounts are white and pink because that's kind of like her color scheme. So I'm only using white and pink mounts on her. So stuff like that. How about you, Kitty?
With pets, it kind of comes out generically or during gameplay. So all of a sudden we'll start having Kevorkian, the Kevorkian monkey lizard just kind of becomes a thing, or it just kind of happens organically. Either it comes into my head and then I'm like, okay, now this is a thing for our characters in brain reality.
Okay.
Whatever.
Right.
But yeah, with mounts, I do nightmare mode Space Barbie, so it all depends on what's available or what she or he has brought with them. So, but yeah.
And I know
in
that
a nutshell, yes.
And you're pretty like you're kind of a stickler because of that about the the nightmare mode Space Barbie. Like even your companions have to be like kitted up with different outfits and stuff like that, or customizations or whatever.
Right.
So,
it's the first rule of Nightmare Space Barbie is look fabulous.
Awesome.
So and then it has the other little rules to it, but yeah, I like to make all those companions look unique because again, it makes me feel like a big shot.
That's cool. All right, yeah. So definitely, we definitely do that. Of course, I like how he uses Jedi Knight uses the Force user companions plus HK. Sort of, I assume that's a nod to like Revan. I like that. But yeah, that's good stuff.
I do the same thing, kind of. I like to use creatures as companions instead, and then with non-Force users, I don't use creatures as much.
I see. So you mean for non-story companions, you'll use you'll pull out like an Act Dog or whatever.
Yeah, like a Nexu. Usually a Nexu on characters because that's my favorite.
That's your thing,
creature. Yeah, I love them. I like their little built-in smile that could bite your head off.
Right.
It's always fun.
Now, let's see. Under the Sarlacc Digest, you had a couple little notes. I don't know if they're full Sarlacc Digest, but you can certainly talk whatever you want to.
Yeah. I just wanted to remind everybody that the new Star Wars book, The Rising Storm, is out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Republic. What is it again? I forgot.
The High Republic?
The High Republic. The new book came out today.
Nice.
And for anybody that's interested. And also, I'm going to be doing a 4th of July stream, so if you are scared of fireworks,
okay,
come hang out with me. I'll be doing a stream all day Sunday.
Wow, are you going to... and you said you're going to be doing the dev live stream. You're going to be streaming that too, so are you going to be going like into the night when fireworks would be going and stuff like that?
No, I'm just going to do a normal stream. I'm just saying that it's going to be a 4th of July extravaganza.
Okay. Awesome.
There's going to be a naked dude dancing with red, white, and blue underwear.
Is that the definition of extravaganza?
Yeah.
Naked
naked
guy dancing.
Half naked with fireworks behind him.
Woo! That sounds like fun. All right. So look forward to that. That's not very far away. I mean, we've got... Oh, that's right. You said 4th of July stream, not 1st of July stream. So yeah, the 1st of July, we've got the dev stream, and then 4th of July, you'll be doing your special 4th of July stream. Sorry, again, head a little fuzzy. I got those two conflated. But yes, those are quite separate. That question must have sounded really bizarre to you now that I think think about it, but
I rolled with it, chill.
You rolled just fine. I appreciate that.
We both pull back the curtain here. We both said apologies to each other because our brains are fried from the heat. So I just was like,
it's crazy. In fact, like, yet another brain fuzz thing. I actually closed my door, which I always do for to record, just to keep sounds out. But I always check to make sure the cats are in, but I didn't today, and one of our two cats is in the room and really wants out. So we're gonna wrap up the show, and then I'm gonna let my cat have the run of the house. All right, so that's the show. If you'd like to play with us in the Teeny Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our
Teeny Rage
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to utinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @utinicast. You can find contact details for us on our website, utinicast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. Go to utinicast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Thank you, chat.
All right, and we'll see you next week. And let's go ahead and before we head out, we're gonna raid another channel if it will let me. Let's see. Let me go to if I go to the dashboard, hopefully this will let me raid. Come on, where is it, baby? There we go. Manage stream. You're live. Raid channel. Let's see who's around. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of people that I really know. Oh, Marcus is available. He didn't show up on the list, which is really weird. But when I actually searched under SWOTOR, he did. So let's say hi to Marcus. Thanks for coming.
Bye, you guys. Thanks.
All right. And boom, 23 people ready to go. All right, and stopping the stream, stopping the recording.